The views expressed during this program does not necessarily represent those of really any sane person with a brain. Listening to this program may actually kill brainwaves and make you dumber than you may already be. Listener discretion is advised. Really, because this show sucks to begin with.
Look at you, handsome.
And look at you, handsome. How are you?
I am fantastic. We are the Fantasy Fat Guys.
I'm Porterhouse.
And you're Porterhouse, as you just stepped all over me, you big
I didn't know you were going to talk.
Well,
Your Powers, I'm Porterhouse. I'm Porterhouse, your Powers. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Welcome to the Fantasy Fat Guys. I don't know, it's like week number 19 or something that we're doing.
This would be the divisional playoff round.
Yeah. Very.
We went through an amazing wild card round filled with so much drama in every single game.
You know what we learned? Know what we learned from this weekend? The greedy SOBs at the NFL have really screwed the pooch and their fans. That could have been the worst weekend of football I have ever seen.
We had 6 games, of which 2 were competitive.
Right.
But they weren't exactly great football. The Raiders and Bengals just settled for field goals all day long.
Right.
And the Raiders just could not punch it in no matter what they tried. And San Francisco tried to let Dallas back in to make it exciting. And Dallas said, you know what? We don't even want to take a last gasp effort. We're going to run the clock out ourselves.
Right. Dak just said, you know what? I'm tired. I want to go home. The season's over. I'm only getting $40 million for the season, so why should I keep on playing?
So do me a favor. I'm going to slide down here. I'm going to forget the fact that an official, the umpire, in fact, has to touch the ball to set it and mark it, because you can't just mark the ball yourself of where you think you went down.
Right.
And I'm going to run for an extra 5 yards. Okay. Let me just get into this right away. 14 seconds left. Throw the ball 3 times into the freaking end zone. What are you going to do? You want to get 10 yards ahead and see if you can make it 1 pass from 25 instead of 3 passes from 35? What are you doing?
That is the most ridiculous call. I got to tell you, what's his name? They were talking about how McCarthy, might be might be getting put on the shelf. A call like that, whoever made that call deserves to be fired.
Well, McCarthy was on there. Kellen Moore called it. Dak agreed. Maybe Dak went 5 yards too far because they thought they were going to spike it with 2 or 3 seconds left. But here's the problem. This is the end of the game. Field goal does nothing for you. It's not like you're trying to gain 10 yards and spike it and kick and make it doable. It's not like you're doing that.
Right. You
have to throw the ball in the end zone. You have Amari Cooper. You have C.D. Lamb, who has become invisible the second half of the season, by the way.
Right.
You have Wilson. I mean, you have a bunch of guys, Cedric Wilson. You have a bunch of guys that can play. Why in the world would you not take 3 shots up top? You got Dalton Schultz, a guy that's been huge all season long.
Right. And you've got the momentum on your side.
San Francisco's backpedaling. I'm saying to myself, wow, they're going to spike the ball. And if I'm San Francisco, I put Deebo Samuel in the game as a defensive back just to try to knock everything down or catch it.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. And all of a sudden, Dallas goes with a quarterback sneak. And I'm hearing people saying, well, it was a good call because the middle of the field's open. What? Did you watch the fourth quarter? Did you watch the drive where San Francisco refused to cover the outs?
Right.
They refused. They kept giving them first down 10 yards, first down 15, first down 9, first down 11, whatever it was. They were just watching down the field. I know they started to move the coverage to the outside. So what? So you run a post and throw it into the end zone. What are you doing? You try to find that angle where you have a one-on-one somewhere because everybody else is back deep and try to pick on a weak part of a zone. But instead, they run the quarterback draw saying, rather than 3 shots from the 35, I want 1 shot from the 25. What? It's not like he can't reach. It's not like he's at the 35 and you're trying to get to the 50 so he can reach.
Right.
He's inside the 40. I can reach. Close. I can get to the 10.
Wow, you're a little angry today.
Well, that was the dumbest thing I've seen.
It makes sense, though. It's the Cowboys.
Oh, my God.
You know what? Here's another thing now. Kellen Moore supposedly is going for interviews. Do you hire this guy after that call? I mean, I know it's only one play, but at the end of the day, that's the last thing you did.
Well, here's the thing to remember about that game. Dallas's offense looked horrible for almost all of it.
Right.
The Niners let him back in. They did everything in their power to let him back in. Jimmy throwing a nice interception there on the sideline.
Right.
When he didn't have to do much, overthrows the guy on the little out. Basically the game's over. You get 1 first down, maybe 2, and probably won and the game's over. Instead, he throws a pick. They come down
Right.
and score. I mean, they did nothing for the entire game after an early drive. That was it.
Right.
And yet, for some strange reason, Dallas just finds their way in the game, and their annoying fans are sitting there acting like it's they earned something.
Right.
And then what they decide to do is run out the clock.
I am also quite amused by Dak saying that the fans, he cheers the fans on for throwing crap at the referees.
Because it was the referee's fault that the genius ran a quarterback draw.
Right. It is the ref's fault. It is your fault. That is why you lost the game.
And then I'm hearing commentators talk, and he retracted that because he realized he's a moron, or somebody told him to. But I'm hearing commentators, it wasn't a bad play because it's open. I'm like, why would you take one shot at the end zone when you could take three? I don't get it. Or if you want to run, if you think you can get the out, even though they're playing a different coverage, they've given it to you the whole time anyway, throw it 10 yards down the field. And if it's not there, throw it out of bounds.
Right. And still have another 12 seconds on the clock.
What are you thinking? I mean, it's just dubious. It's like something you'd expect the Jets to do, It's something you expect the Lions to do.
Right.
Even the Bengals, even though they're playing well now. Something that historically you think the Bengals did, or the Browns. I mean, what are these franchises that just suck?
The other questionable play during the course of the weekend, of course, was the whistle. Joe Burrow.
I mean, listen, the whistle did blow. I don't think it affected the play. I was rooting for them to turn it back because the whistle did blow.
Right.
We both had Oakland, Las Vegas, whatever they call themselves now.
Yeah.
And I would have loved it if that touchdown didn't count.
You know what? It's really hard to tell because it looked like the defensive coverage was kind of like letting up and just kind of like hanging out. But the guy, he was so wide open on that play.
Yeah, the ball was already in the air, I thought, when that whistle blew, right? So it's like, did he anticipate the ref blowing a bad whistle? I mean, I don't know. Or was he just beaten like a rented mule? I don't know.
Right. But to me, the rule is whistle blows, plays dead. That should have been called back.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't think it had anything to do with the outcome of the play, but by rule, it should have been turned back. Right. And then the NFL releases this horrible statement afterwards saying that didn't happen like that. The only reason why we didn't call it back is because the whistle blew after the ball was caught. No, it didn't. You can see it. You can watch it. Why are you lying now? What? Nobody's going to watch the replay? No one's going to catch you in the lie? You had hours to think about your response, and that's what you came up with? Nice job, NFL. How dumb.
How good is that?
If there was a team that looked like they didn't belong in the playoffs any more than Philadelphia, I don't know who it was. I mean, and the fact is they scored 15 late points to make that game look close.
But it wasn't. It was one of the toughest games to watch.
Listen, I put on Instagram halfway through the game, is it time for the stash?
Right.
And yet the announcers never even thought about it.
No.
Like you're losing. You have to pass to get back. And you're going to rely on Jalen Hurts to pass the ball for you?
Right.
And he's going to be a starter next year. They already said they plan on him being the starter.
You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. You're down by 30 or whatever the hell the score was at that point. Your only way to win is to throw the ball, and you keep the quarterback who can't throw it.
And you got receivers. It's not like you don't. You just don't have anyone that can get him the ball.
Right.
I mean, Goddard's an above-average tight end. Devontae Smith had a very nice rookie year. Jalen Reagor's got good speed. Quez Watkins is good. I mean, they're fine. I mean, it's not like they're like a subservient. It's not like the Giants in the middle of the season when everybody was hurt and they had nobody on receiving. And they were quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 7. I mean, they have weapons that they can throw to. Even throwing it to the kid out of the backfield, Miles Sanders. I mean, Boston Scott, they have so many different little weapons. Instead, they throw it to a quarterback that never releases the ball on time. Every pass is late and behind the receiver, and he floats it like Tua.
Right.
My God, I am angry today, I think.
I see that.
Bad football pisses me off.
I got to tell you, somebody who is you got to give big kudos to. Holy crap. The poor bastard tears his Achilles, comes back 93 yards on the ground. Cam Akers had a really good game this week.
He did. And did you notice how much that Murray is just not a very good quarterback?
No.
My God.
Again,
I mean, we've been
how many
saying
times-
that Kyler was, you got to keep him in the pocket. I mean, he was in the pocket and he couldn't do a thing. And when he was rolling out of the pocket, he didn't look to run.
No.
I mean, I was like, there is no. I mean, I know they're missing DeAndre Hopkins, but basically what we have found out is that without Hopkins, with Murray just throwing him up to him, he doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
I got to tell you, because I bet the running for 40-plus yards. I lost that one, obviously, big time.
I bet the over.
Ooh.
But it was 49, and they finished at 45. And I'm like, how is this team not able to put up, 20 points?
I got to tell you,
they were bad.
It really is. It's amazing that how my son's friend was here. We were watching the games on Sunday. It's amazing how good these odds makers really are.
Oh, they're right on it, man.
He had I don't know why the moron picked Scotty Miller to even play in the game, but he picked Scotty Miller to have one catch for at least 8.5 yards. He had one catch for 8. It was like right on. It was, but there was like a whole bunch of those bets that were like right on that you lost by a half a point.
It's so funny, but it does happen. One of the other interesting things, and besides just the odds makers being accurate on that, I mean, you're sitting there and you're watching the unders and overs, and except for the Bills game, a lot of them were really right there. I mean, I don't think anybody expected the Bills to blow out the Pats. I mean, I thought that they were better. I thought they would beat them. I thought they'd beat them by 10 to 14 points. I didn't think they'd beat them by 30.
I said blowout, but you didn't listen.
You did say blowout. I was stunned by that.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Josh Allen's on fire, and I cannot wait for this Sunday's game. That is going to be a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, we have to wait till Sunday night to see it, but it's going to be great.
Well, listen, I think we have 4 good ones this week. I really do. I think that the Ram Buccaneer game is an excellent game.
Okay.
Also on Sunday, I think that the Rams. I think that the Rams could win it relatively easily. Do you see how good Odell Beckham looks in that uniform?
Yeah, unbelievable. He is
my
on
God,
fire.
He's not the first option. It's Kupp,
right?
Who even though he was used as a decoy most of the game, still had a pretty decent game.
Right.
I mean, but they run the ball. They're not going to be able to run it as well against Tampa. Let's be honest. But Tampa's pass defense is not great, even though it looked good against Philly. Against a guy like Stafford, if he's not throwing 17 interceptions, they should have holes all over the place with that 2-deep cover shell. And a guy like Kupp and a guy like Beckham and a guy like Higbee and even Van Jefferson, these guys are going to be open a lot.
I got to tell you, though, Van Jefferson seems to have disappeared.
Well, Beckham has taken his role. Yeah. But you got to understand that, next year, if everything stays status quo, you won't even see Van Jefferson because it's going to be Robert Woods back.
Yeah, you may see Van Jefferson.
And you forget how good Robert Woods is. Robert Woods is a guy like in fantasy that, my cousin Chris every year takes Robert Woods. And he takes him every year because he's like, guy just catches a lot of balls. You're guaranteed 8, 9, 10 points just on catches, let alone the yards.
All I know is I got a lot of balls. Ladybug.
But that is very true.
Rodney Dangerfield.
one of the more underrated sports movies of our time.
One of the top sports. It's like Field of Dreams, Ladybug.
It's really right there. It's really right there. Along with Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell and Robert Duvall. Meet First. The Butcher Italian Kids.
If we're gonna go crazy, Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's figure skating, but
if you're not first, you're last. The Ricky Bobby. There's a lot of great sports movies. Caddyshack.
Oh, Caddyshack is my.
Actually, you know what? Tin Cup is actually a very good movie in its own right as well. Actually,
I'm sorry. Caddyshack was like the very first R-rated movie I saw, and that is my Gone with the Wind.
So you saw your boob and you were excited.
Dude, I watched those boobs like 12 times because that's when you had videotapes. You were able to rewind.
Life was easy.
Right. VCR, kids. VCR. The people who are young who are listening will never know what that is.
Nope, I get it. I agree with you.
But
100% right.
Anyway, we've
the other two games, Cincinnati and Tennessee.
I am just so in